your dog is not staring at your food. They are staring at your answer. Every time you sit down to eat, they appear beside the table. Silent. Patient. Almost too polite. Their eyes follow the fork. Then your hand. Then your mouth. And somehow, without barking, without touching you, without doing anything wrong, they make you feel like the worst person alive. So most people explain it the simple way. They are hungry. They are spoiled. They just want a bite. But what if that stare was never only about hunger? What if your dog is watching something much deeper than the food on your plate? Because inside that quiet moment, there are old instincts, learned patterns, emotional rituals, and one question your dog has been asking you in small ways their entire life. And the final reason may change the way you feel about every meal you ever share with them. Here at Paws Mind, we don't just look at what dogs do. We listen for what the behavior means. So before you push that stare away as begging, stay with me. Because your dog may be speaking in the oldest language they know. The seventh reason is the one most owners already suspect. Yes. Your dog is asking for a piece. But not in the shallow way people think. Dogs did not become close to humans by accident. Long before soft beds, metal bowls, and warm living rooms, the ancestors of dogs lived near human camps. They watched fires. They smelled cooked meat. They learned that when humans gathered around food, small things sometimes fell. A bone. A scrap. A piece no one noticed. And for an animal trying to survive, that tiny fallen piece could mean another day of life. So when your dog sits near your chair and watches your fork, part of their brain is not in your dining room. It is sitting beside an ancient fire. Waiting. Reading. Hoping. This does not mean your dog is greedy. It means an old survival protocol is still alive inside a very modern heart. But here is the detail most owners miss. A dog who is truly hungry often looks restless. They move around. They lick their lips. They paw at you. They shift their weight. They may whine. But a dog running this ancient scavenger program can be strangely still. Eyes locked. Body quiet. Breathing steady. Not frantic. Not desperate. Just waiting. That stillness matters. Because it tells you this is not always an empty stomach speaking. Sometimes it is memory. Not personal memory, but species memory. A behavior passed down through thousands of ordinary meals. From the campfire to the kitchen table. From survival to family life. And once you understand that, the stare feels less like pressure. It feels like history sitting at your feet. But the next reason has even less to do with the food. Because sometimes your dog appears before the first bite. Before the plate touches the table. Before you have offered them anything. And that tells us something important. The sixth reason is this. Mealtime is the only time your dog knows exactly where you will be. Think about your day from your dog's point of view. You move constantly. You leave rooms. You close doors. You disappear behind screens. You pick up keys. You come home. You go out again. You stand. You sit. You speak to invisible people through a phone. To your dog, the human world is unpredictable. You are the center of their emotional map, but you are also the most difficult thing to track. Except when you eat. At mealtime, everything changes. You sit down. You stay in one place. Your hands slow down. Your voice softens. Your attention becomes easier to read. For 15 or 20 minutes, maybe longer, you become predictable. And for a dog, predictability is comfort. According to reward-based training principles used by organizations like the APDT, dogs learn patterns through repeated associations. A chair being pulled out. A plate being set down. The sound of a cupboard. The smell of food warming. These are not random sounds to your dog. They are signals. They say, "The person I love is about to stop moving." That is why some dogs arrive before the meal begins. Not because they know exactly what you are eating, but because they know what the ritual means. You will be there. Still. Reachable. Present. And for a creature whose nervous system is built around closeness, that may matter more than the food itself. Your dog may be drawn to the plate, but they are also drawn to the paws. To the rare moment when the world stops taking you away from them. The fifth reason is quieter and more beautiful. Your dog likes watching your face when you eat. That sounds simple. But to your dog, your face is not just a face. It is weather. It tells them if the emotional sky is clear or stormy. Dogs are deeply sensitive to human expression. Behavioral research shows that dogs can read human facial cues and emotional signals with impressive accuracy. They know when your jaw is tight. They know when your eyes are sharp. They notice the difference between your tired face, your frustrated face, your distracted face, and your peaceful face. And when you eat something you enjoy, your face changes. Your shoulders drop. Your breathing slows. Your eyes soften. The small muscles around your mouth release. For a few minutes, you become a calmer version of yourself. Not the busy version. Not the worried version. Not the version rushing through the day. Just you. Resting. Receiving. Being still. And your dog sees that. They may look like they are watching the fork, but very often, they are watching you. The way your eyes soften after a warm bite. The tiny smile you do not even notice. The way your body says, "I am okay right now." To a dog who loves you, that face matters. Because your calm tells them the world is calm. Your softness tells them they can soften too. This is why some dogs relax after watching you for a while. They were not only waiting for food. They were reading the room through your body. And when your body says peace, their body can believe it. The fourth reason takes us into older territory. But we need to be careful here. For a long time, people explained dog behavior through the idea of strict dominance and alpha control. But that idea has often been misunderstood. Even L. David Meck, whose early wolf research helped popularize the alpha wolf concept, later clarified that natural wolf packs are usually family groups, not constant battles for rank. So when we talk about your dog watching you eat, this is not about them bowing to an alpha. It is about social safety. In social animals, food is information. Who is eating? Who is calm? Is anyone tense? Is the group safe? Is there conflict around the resource? Maybe your dog is watching the chair, the plate, your hands, the way your voice changes, the way everyone in the room moves more slowly. Your dog may not think these thoughts in human words, but their nervous system notices. When you eat calmly, you give them data. Food exists. The family is settled. No one is fighting. No one is afraid. The home is functioning. That is why some dogs stare intensely during the first few minutes of a meal, then suddenly lie down. The check is complete. The emotional system has received what it needed. You are eating. You are safe. The room is safe. The group is intact. According to the RSPCA's guidance on dog body language, dogs communicate stress and comfort through subtle signals such as posture, eye contact, lip licking, turning away, and body tension. So when your dog watches you calmly, with a loose body and quiet breathing, it may not be a demand. It may be observation. They are not judging you. They are collecting signs of safety. A dog's mind is always asking, what does this moment mean for us? And sometimes, your quiet dinner gives them the answer. Everything is still okay. The third reason may make you smile. Your dog knows exactly when you are most likely to give in. Not because they are evil. Not because they are manipulative. Because they are brilliant observers of the person they love. Your dog has studied you longer than you realize. They know breakfast is harder. Dinner is easier. They know you share more when you are relaxed. They know you are softer on weekends. They know the difference between the face that means, absolutely not, and the face that means, maybe. They know if sitting silently works better than pawing. They know if tilting their head increases the odds. They know if one small sigh can break your discipline. This is not manipulation. This is learning. Dogs repeat behaviors that have worked before. If a soft stare once earned a piece of chicken, the soft stare becomes important. If sitting quietly worked better than barking, your dog remembers. If placing their chin on your knee once melted your heart, that detail goes into the private library they keep about you. And make no mistake, your dog has a library. It is filled with your habits, your moods, your timing, your weaknesses, your kindness. They may not understand your schedule in the way you do, but they understand patterns. And you are their favorite pattern. So when they look at you during dinner, part of the moment is practical. They are waiting for the opening. The small pause. The softened face. The moment your hand drops low enough. But even this is not cold strategy. It is relationship. They have learned you because they live close to your heart. They know when you break because they have spent years watching what makes you soften. And somewhere deep inside, you probably love that they figured you out. The second reason is one of the most important. For your dog, sitting near you while you eat can be a ritual of belonging. Humans often think of meals as individual. My plate. My food. My chair. But social animals experience food differently. Eating near the group can mean safety. It can mean inclusion. It can mean, I am part of this. This is why your dog may not sit beside the person with the most food. They often sit beside the person they are most bonded to. The person whose footsteps matter most. The person whose absence changes the room. The person whose return feels like sunrise. If that is you, then your dog is not only choosing a food source. They are choosing their place. At your feet. Beside your chair. Within your circle. That position says something. I belong here. I am close enough to you. I am not outside the family. This is also why some dogs become unsettled when you eat behind a closed door. They may scratch. They may wait. They may lie down in the hallway with a worried face. Not because they believe every meal belongs to them, but because the ritual happened without them. The family gathered. The smells rose. The sounds began. And they were on the other side of the boundary. For a deeply bonded dog, exclusion can feel confusing. Because their heart does not separate food from togetherness as cleanly as ours does. To them, dinner is not only about eating. It is a daily ceremony that says the home is whole. You are there. They are there. The group still exists. And that brings us to the first reason. The one hidden behind all the others. Your dog may be asking a question. Not in words. Not in a human sentence. But emotionally. Through the language of food, closeness, and belonging. The question is this. Am I still part of you? Do I still belong here? Do you still love me? In a dog's earliest experience of life, food is never just food. Food is warmth. Food is safety. Food is the mother's body. Food is survival arriving through someone they trust. Later, when your dog comes into your home, you become part of that emotional system. You are the one who fills the bowl. You are the one who notices. You are the one who says their name. You become the source not only of nutrition, but of certainty. Every meal you give them says, in a language older than speech, you are cared for. So when your dog watches you eat, they may not simply be thinking, I want that. Something softer may be happening. They are watching the most important person in their world receive food. They are standing near the center of comfort. And they are asking to be included in the feeling. This does not mean you must feed your dog from the table. And of course, not every human food is safe for dogs. Some foods should never be shared. Chocolate. Grapes. Onions. Garlic. Certain cooked bones. Rich or fatty foods that can upset their body. Love should never be careless. But the answer does not have to be table food. It can be a safe treat in their own bowl. A soft smile. A gentle word. A hand resting near them. Because the meaning is bigger than the bite. To your dog, the smallest act can carry enormous emotional weight. A tiny safe treat. A soft look. A calm voice. A place near your feet. These things say, yes. Yes, I see you. Yes, you are still here. Yes, you still matter. Yes, you are still mine. And that is why some dogs look so deeply satisfied after receiving almost nothing. Not a meal. Not a feast. Just a sign. Just proof that the bond is still alive. And that is also why, when you say no, some dogs sigh and lie down with a quiet sadness that feels almost human. They are not heartbroken over one missing bite. The answer simply feels less certain that day. So the next time your dog appears beside your chair, do not only see begging. Look again. Look at the stillness. The patience. The way their eyes move between the food and your face. The way they are not simply trying to take something from you. They are trying to understand where they stand in your world. Your dog does not have words for love. So they borrow moments. They borrow your return at the door. Your hand on their head. Your voice in the hallway. Your body sitting still at dinner. They borrow the language of routine and turn it into a question. Do we still belong to each other? And every time you answer with kindness, you make their world steady again. Maybe the answer is not a bite. Maybe it is their name. A soft look. A safe treat in their own bowl. A place near your feet. Because they do not need much. They need certainty. They need inclusion. They need to feel that the bond has not disappeared while life became busy. So tonight, when you sit down and those quiet eyes appear beside the table, remember this. You are not being watched by a spoiled dog. You are being trusted. By a creature who has built their emotional world around you. You are being asked, in the gentlest way they know, whether the home is still safe. Whether the family is still whole. Whether love is still there. And if this changed the way you see that silent stare, stay with Paws Mind. Here, we don't just explain dog behavior. We translate the quiet language your dog has been speaking all along. And before you go, there is another moment most owners misunderstand. When your dog runs to the door the second you come home, they are not just excited. They may be saying something much deeper. That story is next. Because to your dog, every look is a question. And every small kindness is an answer.